With undefeated seasons coming to an end and highly anticipated returns occurring, it was an eventful weekend for fans across the sports landscape. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Lauren Harth, joined by Maya Bieling, and we're here to bring you this week's sports update. The National Women's Soccer League will have their season come to an end as the Orlando Pride face off against the Washington Spirit in the championship game Saturday night in Kansas City. The Orlando Pride will appear in their first NWSL championship after defeating the Kansas City Current 3-2. Barbara Banda scored her third goal of the postseason, giving the top-seeded Pride the edge early in the second half. Banda is just the third player in league history to have 3 goals in a single postseason. Pride captain Marta gave Orlando a 2-goal lead entering the final minutes of regulation with a goal her teammates describe as a classic Marta goal. Marta sent 2 Current defenders sliding and dribbled around the goalie for the Pride's third goal. As for the Washington Spirit, this will be their second championship appearance in 4 years with a victory over Gotham FC, the reigning NWSL champions. Gotham FC came out strong but wasn't able to score until the second half. The Spirit's hopes were revived 3 minutes into stoppage with a header from Hal Hirschflot tying it up, forcing extra time. They remained tied after an extra 30 minutes, sending the game to penalty kicks. Spirit goalie Aubrey Kingsbury denied Gotham's first 2 penalty kicks and had a diving save on the third to send the Spirit to the championship. This year's championship game will be the first in NWSL history to feature 2 teams who did not make the playoffs in the previous season.
Jake Paul defeated Mike Tyson by unanimous decision in an 8-round match on Friday. This was a notable event, especially since it was Tyson's first pro appearance since 2005, and it was all to go up against a YouTuber turned pro who is half his age. The match was live streamed on Netflix and held in front of over 70,000 spectators at the home of the Dallas Cowboys. The first 2 rounds were slow. Paul's main tactic was to tire out Tyson early on by essentially having Tyson chase him around the ring. This was effective when Tyson's speed and energy visibly declined in round 3. Tyson held on for the full 8 rounds but couldn't seem to recover the way he needed to. Paul showed Tyson respect by bowing to him in the final seconds of the fight. This was the biggest moment of Paul's boxing career that started less than 5 years ago. His record now sits at 11-1, while Tyson's career falls to 50-7. Both Paul and Tyson have been given a 24-day suspension to ensure full physical recovery.
The final undefeated NFL team has fallen after the Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Buffalo Bills 30-21 Sunday evening. This modern rivalry has been back and forth and down to the wire with each game, and this one was no different. On just the second play of the game, Patrick Mahomes was intercepted, positioning the Bills for their first touchdown drive. Buffalo went up 2 in the half at the end of the first half and maintained their lead throughout the second. Setting up the victory for the Bills was Josh Allen's 26-yard rushing touchdown on a 4th and 2. Fans, however, should never count Patrick Mahomes out late in a game, but down 9 with only 2 minutes was too tall of a task. Mahomes' pass that was intended for Kelsey was intercepted by Terrell Bernard, sealing a Bills victory. The Chiefs still hold the top spot in the AFC with the Bills a half game behind. Kansas City will go on to face the Carolina Panthers next week, while Buffalo heads to their bye.
The SEC has been all over the place this season between upsets and underdogs rising to the occasion. Some college football playoff-worthy teams have been given a run for their money. Coming off of a 28-10 loss against Ole Miss last week, Coach Kirby Smart and his former number 11 Georgia team redeemed themselves in a 31-17 victory over former number 6 Tennessee. Tennessee's defense quickly established itself as the Vols took 10-0 lead in the first quarter. The teams played tug-of-war in the first half, both gaining and losing the lead. Going into the third quarter, it was a tied game at 17-17. The Bulldogs dominated from there with outstanding offensive plays led by quarterback Carson Beck. Beck had been receiving criticism for throwing 12 interceptions in the previous 6 games, making him tied for the most in the nation. But this past weekend, he played the best game of his career. The redshirt senior completed 25 of 40 passes for 346 yards, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, along with 32 rushing yards and a touchdown. This was a crucial matchup in the race for a spot in the SEC championship and ultimately the playoff. This gave the Vols their second loss of the season and dropped them from the CFP projections, while also putting Georgia back in. Georgia is now ranked number 8 and Tennessee number 10. Tennessee still has a chance to come back, especially now that the playoff has expanded to 12 teams. Now, Lauren, looking into this next week, what are you excited for?
I'm really excited to see what goes on in college football, but specifically the Ohio State-Indiana game. This is Indiana's first real test against a ranked opponent, and I'm really excited to see if they're all that and what everybody says they have been throughout the season, and if they're really a playoff contention team.
I have to agree with you. College football is very exciting right now. Everything has been so up in the air, and we're really down to the wire, so that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. That is all we have for this week's sports update. For Lauren Harth, I'm Maya Bieling. Have a great night.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this and so much more, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and X. For everyone here at Penn State Sports Night,
We are
Penn State Sports Night.